be showing you how to cut our fabric. So here I have with me my muslin. So here it is. So first we'll be cutting our front skirt block. So we'll be working with our front skirt block first. So let's say this is the fabric that I've decided to use in cutting my skirt. You understand? This is my fabric here. So I'll fold my fabric into two. You understand? I'll fold it into two. Here is it. Here it is. Okay. So you can see better. Let me use this side. Use this side here. So here is my fabric. Yes. So I'll fold it into two. I'll fold it into two like this here. Then I'll turn it over. So this is folding into two, and that is what we called cutting on fold. So when you are cutting, you'll be cutting like this. You understand? So here it is. Here is the fabric. You fold like this. Fold like this. Then you take your front block. Your front block. Here is my front skirt block here. So this is my center front for this skirt. This is my center front. You understand? This is my center front. So this folded edge here. This folded edge here. So I place my center front there on it like this. You understand? So I place it there like this. The center front will be there like this. You understand? Do you see what I'm doing now? You understand? So then you had your seam allowance. You had your seam allowance. You had allowance here for your side. That's side allowance for the side. Maybe you have decided to use what's it called? You can use 1 inch for the side. Depending on whatever it is you want to use, you can use 2, you can use 1.5. So you just had 1 inch round for the side. You know this is our side front, so you can just add one. So you had it round like that. Then for the top part of your skirt, you can decide to add 1 inch allowance. You understand? You can decide to add 1 inch like that round. You understand? So something like this. Something like this. Then for the hem, for the end, the bottom part of your skirt, you can decide to add maybe 1 inch allowance too. So something like this, something like this. You understand? So then you cut like this. You cut round all the allowances that you have made. You understand? So I'm just trying to trace it out for you so you can see what I'm trying to depict. So I won't be cutting this, but let's assume you are cutting it. So you just cut here. I hope you can see all the dots that I made just to indicate where you will cut. You understand? So that is it. So you cut here, you cut straight through, then here. So that's for the front. So this is cutting on fold. Let me remove the paper. So by the time you cut this through here like this, you will have something. You have 2 pieces. You will have 2 of this. You have 2 of this. See. Sorry, I forgot. This is the wrong side of the fabric. You understand? This is the wrong side of the fabric. You cut on the wrong side of the fabric. So by the time you cut through like this and then you open up, so we have one piece of this here. You understand? One piece of this here, then we have another piece here. See where I folded? This is my center front line that I folded on the fabric. So that means I cut the fabric on fold, and that is what it means by when you hear okay, cut on fold. That means you fold your fabric into two. This is the fold line for the center front around here. So yeah. Can you see? So this is cutting on fold for the front. So by the time I'm opening it up, I have one of these here, one of these here, sorry, one of these here, then the other one by this side here, by this side here. So this gives me full. By the time I'm opening it up, it gives me two of these, one here, one by this side, one by the other side. So that will give me one piece for the front. You understand? That will bring you a whole one piece. So from here to here, that we said is 1/4 of your hip circumference, which is 9.625. By the time you cut on fold, you cut your fabric on fold, you will have 9.625 for this side, then you will have another 9.625 for this side. So when you add up 9.625 for this side and this side, the total will give you 19.25 for the front skirt. You understand? So that is that's about the front skirt. Then for our back skirt too, it's still the same thing. You fold your fabric into two. So this is our back skirt block. So you fold your fabric into two, just like the way I did for the front. So let's say this is your fabric that you are using, and then you fold it. You fold the wrong side. This is the right side. You understand? You cut on the wrong side of the fabric. This is the right side of the fabric. So you fold it. You fold it like this. This is the wrong side of the fabric. Then this is the wrong side. So this is the right side, right side. So you fold on the wrong side like this. Then you place your back block, your back block. So there's something you should note about this back block. You can either add zipper allowance. You can either add zip at the back, at the center back. You know, this is our center back. So if it's going to have a zip at the center back, you know, some of these skirts that we see around, we have zip at the back of the skirt. So if it's going to have a zip at the back, then you'll be adding what we call zipper allowance. You understand? So you place your fabric like this. Your fabric is already on fold. So we had zipper allowance, which is usually 1 inch. So you had 1 inch, the center back, because it's at the zip is going to be at the back. You understand? So this is center back of your skirt. So you just do, you had 1 inch allowance round to the center back, just your center back. Then for the upper part of your skirt, maybe you are using 1 inch like I did for the front, you had 1 inch allowance. Add 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Sorry, let me pull it down a bit so you can see what I'm doing. So this is 1 inch for the zipper allowance. Then for the upper part of the skirt here, I added 1 inch allowance too. Then for the side, so you can decide 1.5. You can use 2. You can use 1, depending on whatever suits you. So this is 1.5. I've decided to use 1.5. So 1.5. So I'll cut along the dotted lines, but I'm not cutting. Just know that if you are cutting, you cut along the dotted lines. So because you need to add allowance. Allowance will help you hold the front and back piece together, the both front and back pieces. Yes, it will help you hold them together when you are sewing your fabric. So here you do that. Then for your hem too, for your hem you can decide to use 1 inch for your hem allowance. That is the lower part of your skirt, and the down part of your skirt. So 1 inch, 1 inch. So note that is if the center back we have zip, you understand, but usually you always have zip at the back of your skirt. Even if it's a gown, most time it's usually at the back, unless maybe you want another kind of design that the zip will be at the side. So when you are cutting, you cut through the lines, the dotted lines that I have made. So you cut straight down, then zipper allowance. You know, this is your center back. So here, then here, and here. So by the time you cut, remember that this now, it means you will have 2 pieces by the time I cut this now. So let me just cut this one to illustrate it better. Sorry, you have to make all the you have to align everything so it's perfect. So it's perfect. So this is 1 inch here. So but just know the allowance that you are using for your zipper, but it's usually 1 inch. For the front, for the top part, I decided to use 1 inch. Then for the side, I use 1.5. Sorry, you're not supposed to be marking with a marker. You should actually get a tailor's chalk for you to make your markings, because marker might leave, might leave stains there. But this is just for illustration sake. That's why I've decided to just go along with it like that. So here, so this is my center back, because I'm having a zip here at my center back. So I added a 1 inch zipper allowance, and this is my side back. This side allowance I used 1.5. Then for the upper part I used 1 inch. For my hem I used 1 inch too. So I just cut through. So okay. So for your darts, something I forgot to mention for the front skirt, because it's the same thing for the back. The same thing is applicable for the back. You try to note where the dart legs. These are dart legs. This point here and this point here. From there to here makes up 1 inch. So you try to note the point. You can either use maybe you thread a needle. You can thread a needle and use it to note the point here. But me, I'm just using my my marker, just to note the point. Then for this here, you are actually supposed to use your thread and needle. You can just note the point where you hold for your dart. So then for the other side too, you do that, so that from here to here you can hold your dart here. These are the dart legs, so you just sew it to this point here, to this point here. You sew it, this half, then this is half here, half and half. So you sew it straight down like this up to this point here. So that's about that. So now I've cut my back skirt block. So sorry, let me do this like this. So this is my back skirt block. This is the center back plus zipper allowance, and this is the side back. So now I have two of this. See, this is one piece here, then this is another piece here. Let me put this away so you can see better. So this is one piece here, then this is the second piece here. This is the center back, then this is side back, and then side back. So I have two of this now, and that was what I was trying to explain for the front block too. So this is my center back here plus zipper allowance, then side back. The same thing for here now. So we have two of this. So 1/4 of your hip circumference, which is 9.625 times 2, because we now have two of this here now, we give you 19.25 for that is minus your zipper allowance for your front and then for the back. So if you sum up the front, which is 19.25, and the back, which is also 19.25, that will give you the total of your hip circumference for mine, which is 38.5 and a half. So this is for a skirt that has a back, that has a zip at the back. So you will hold your 1 inch when sewing. You will just hold this side up to, maybe you are putting your what's called your zip here, then you can fix your zip. Then remember that for the front, we don't cut through the center front for the front block, you understand, for our front, because it's the front part of the skirt. It does not have a zip, so there's no need for cutting through at the front for the center front. So the center front is just, the front is just one piece, not two pieces, not than two pieces like this. You know, this is we have two of this now, but for the front it's just one piece, not two, you understand. So it's just full like this. Then you can bring your front skirt and join it to your back with the help of the side allowances. Okay, so you hold your front, you bring your front skirt here, then you sew the side, then the side, then this will be where the zip will be at the back, you understand. So that's cutting on that's about how you go that's how you go about your cutting for the front and then for the back. Then one thing to note again for the back is that this is when you have a zip at the back, but let's say the zip is not at the back, it's at the side, then you don't need to add any zipper allowance. You just cut as you just cut like you did for the front block, you understand. So let's say for this my skirt now, I don't want it to have a zip at the center back, I want it at the side of the skirt. I want my zip at the side of the skirt. So what I'll just do now is that this is my center back, right? This is so this is my center back. I added 1 inch because I was actually going to it's going to have a zip, you understand. That is the reason why I added the 1 inch at the center back. But let's say it's not having a zip, then you don't need to add this 1 inch again. You don't need to add the 1 inch. So you will just cut your fabric on fold, just straight. You don't need this 1 inch again, You understand? You don't need the 1 inch again. You just add normal side allowance like you did for the front, then for the top, and then for the hem. There won't be any allowance here at the center back, because you are not holding it at the you are not putting zip. The zip will be by the side, and you have already added allowance by the side. So the side allowance will be used for your for fixing your zip. So I'll demonstrate that again to cut for the back that has no zipper at the back, or no zip at the back. So here, so let's say this is my fabric now. So you do this, you put on fold, you fold your fabric here. This is for the back again, the back that has no zip. You understand? No zip at the back. So this is it. I folded my fabric here into two. Okay. Folding into two here. So then this is my center back here. Center back. Then this is side back. Remember I said for this that is not having a zip at the back, there won't be any allowance. So you flip it over like this. Then you place your center back. You place it on the folded edge here. This is where you fold, and this is where you folded for your fabric here, this side here. So you place your center back on this line here, on this folded line here. You understand? You place it there. Then the only thing we'll be adding is what's it called, the side allowance. You add side allowance, then you will add the top allowance for the skirt, then you will also add your hem allowance, and then you cut. So it will be similar to your front skirt block that you cut. You understand? Because this one does not have a zip at the center back, but at it being there's a zip at the center back, then you are going to be adding, you will shift it a bit, and then you have zipper, you will add zipper allowance, which is 1 inch to your center back. But if there is no zip, you will just cut on fold like this. You cut on fold, you fold your fabric, then you place it the center back on the folded line here. No allowance. So we are not cutting through at this center here. You won't cut through. You won't cut through. For a skirt that does not have zip at the back, you understand? You won't cut through. If you decide, okay, you don't let it have zip, I want the zip at the side, you understand? So, but if it's going to have zip, you just shift it here, and it's still the same thing, similar to the front part of the skirt too. So this is my front block. Remember that I'll be placing my center front too here. It's still the same thing. That is for a skirt that does not have zip at the back. So you will cut the same thing for the front and for the back. So here it is here. So this is my center front. I'm placing it on my folded line here. Folded line here. Then I will just add my side allowance, top allowance, and then the hem allowance here. So, and that's all. So I hope you understand the cutting part of it. So this brings us to the end of this tutorial. So do subscribe to our channel for further tutorials to help your fashion journey. Thank you for listening. See you next time.